Welcome to Broadstairs Life, where I speak with the people who make Broadstairs such a special place. Welcome to Broadstairs Life, and on this lovely sunny day, I'm sat here with Sarah, and you're a breastfeeding counsellor.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I think the easiest way is for you to explain exactly what it is and what you do.
Okay. So just before I start, I just want to make a little statement that I appreciate that breastfeeding doesn't happen for everybody, and I just would like to offer some commiseration if that didn't work out for you and you wanted it to, or also respect that if it wasn't what you wanted and you made an informed choice about that, then I respect that too. But for the purpose of the podcast today, we will be talking about breastfeeding.
Lovely, thank you.
So I thought I wanted to kind of shed a little bit of light about breastfeeding counsellors and give the experience of what happened to me before I was one with my first baby, as to why I thought, this is my calling, this is my thing. And so I had my daughter, she's seven now. So I had my daughter 7 years ago, my first baby, and the midwife came over to check them, and they come over and check you're okay and the baby's okay and everything, and they weigh them. And when the midwife weighed my baby on day 5, she said, "Oh, she's lost quite a lot of weight." And then kind of double checked it and calculated it, and she said, "Oh, it looks like she's lost about 17% of her birth weight." And the normal range is between 5 and 7% that they could lose. So we'd lost.
Could they give an explanation for that?
Well, they can't. You have to go to hospital, really.
Yeah,
so to check that there's not any underlying medical issues with baby, or if it was a feeding problem. And so she said, "Oh, we're going to have to kind of pack your bags and go to hospital." So off we went to hospital, and they reweighed her there, and they said, I really so vividly remember it, and they said, "Oh, it's actually 20. She's actually lost 20% of her birth weight." So we think, and then I feel like somebody said to me, she's lost a whole pound in those 5 days of when she was born.
Which is a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot of weight, and I was absolutely distraught. I was so upset, and they said, "We need to feed your baby, and we need to feed her right now. That's what we need to do." So she had to have some additional milk, and we had to do some tests and things, and it turned out that breastfeeding was the problem. So I thought that was what was summarised to us by the hospital. So I thought that things were going relatively well. I thought she cried a lot, but perhaps it makes a little bit more sense now why she did. Yeah. But I thought things were going well, and then we had this whole thing about how much weight she'd lost, and I just felt all this guilt. I felt all this guilt and shame, and I was embarrassed, and I was absolutely heartbroken that it wasn't what I wanted. And I just kept crying. And I think it's quite...
Because all your emotions are running wild anyway, aren't they?
So you have...
the baby, you've
absolutely.
Got so much going on.
Lots is going on, and this is a really complicated thing when I'm supporting mums as well, is that I'm aware that having a baby is a very emotional time, but you have two things here, because you have something that is, if it's upsetting to the mum, whether their emotions are running wild or not, it's upsetting, and then you also have this very kind of, you have a real change in hormones. It's very can be very difficult to deal with. So yes, I absolutely agree. And so absolutely embarrassed, guilty, deflated, heartbroken, really, really upset. And the hospital needed to kind of make sure my baby was fed, and then I needed to work out what I was doing. Anyway, so I got signposted to a charity called La Leche League, which they're breastfeeding counsellors and they're volunteers. And I got back home and kind of tried to pick myself up and carry on with it. And very, very difficult time. And we'd spoken to lots of people, lots of visitors from midwives, re-weighing the baby, coming over, making sure everything was going. Lots of people talking to us in the hospital, all of that kind of stuff. Lots of talk about numbers, percentage, weight loss, need to gain X amount.
So you've been hit from every angle with information.
Yeah, and your baby needs to have this amount a day, and make sure she doesn't drink any less than this. And because they need to make sure they're following their policies and procedures to make sure she's growing well.
Yeah.
So I can understand where it comes from. But what I think was lost in that, which I'm not at all blaming healthcare staff for at all, is how I felt about it, which moves me on to the breastfeeding counsellor side of it.
Wow.
So then I head down to a La Leche League meeting, and the volunteer, this amazing woman who just absolutely inspired me so much, she's called Asha, and she was running a meeting, and I sort of trundled along with this baby with my pump and trying to kind of work out what on earth I was doing. And I told her everything that had happened. I did that kind of big spiel, very tearful, eyes all kind of glassy and finding it difficult to talk about. And she was the first person who said that must have been so upsetting. And out of everybody that I spoke to. So
she actually thought about you.
And my feelings about it. And I think other people have other responsibilities. So when you're in hospital, they need to achieve X, and your partner is there for you and help. And he was so helpful and making sure the baby was feeding, and we all of that. And then but no one had said. A lot of people said, "Oh, it's your hormones. You've had a baby," but no one said, "Oh, that must have been so upsetting. How worrying for you." And because they were busy with other things that also needed to happen, but she did. She did, and she heard it, and she let me say it all without interrupting me, without jumping forward to the next thing, without telling me what to do, what the right thing was. She just listened to me. And it was absolutely transformative. And on top of that, she had absolutely fantastic knowledge and skills to get me back to what my original goal was which was to breastfeeding. Yeah. And she gave me a lot of support with that. But what I really needed was someone to listen and to say, "Oh my goodness, that must have been really tough for you." And I think tough is relative to every mum. Their experiences are different, and some babies have really difficult starts, and the comparison is very relative.
No, exactly.
But it just felt so heard and so recognised, and I felt I really remember when I left speaking to her, I felt so empowered, even though I had a lot to do now to work on my breastfeeding. And my mum says to me, You came home from meeting with her like a different person.
So she really had
changed it.
You.
Absolutely. And I was so lost. I was so upset, and I was so lost, and I was so kind of I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it back. And it really meant a lot to me. And she just did it. And it was Was
it like that skip and jump feeling?
Absolutely. I thought, there is hope. There is things we can do. There is someone with that kind of specialist knowledge, but also someone that will listen to how I'm feeling. Anyway, so I thought, I want to do that. I want to be like that. I really aspire to what she's done. And I want to do it. So then in the middle of kind of having babies, young children, I studied to be a breastfeeding counsellor volunteer for La Leche League, the same. So I've been doing that for 4 years now as a volunteer. And, 4 years as a volunteer, and I do the same, probably.
And are you taking on that same ethos of listen?
That's the whole point of Yes, that is the most important thing, or one of the most important things about breastfeeding counsellors is listening to the mothers. Absolutely. Yeah. What are they saying? How do they feel? Do
you ever get the husband come along as well? So it's a joint thing. I
get the husband come along in my. So I've got two hats on here. Yeah. So in my La Leche League, I run this is not the Broadstairs thing. That's Margate thing. So in that one, I run meetings and mothers come with their babies, and I run that voluntary, and we talk about things. And then I do the one-to-ones, which I also offer at the Old Curiosity Shop in Broadstairs with my Breastfeeding Counsellor, and the dads do often come along to those. Yeah, definitely.
So that's quite nice, isn't it? Because both parents get an understanding as well.
And sometimes I'll do like a visit to a family, or I'll be doing those one-to-ones. And I'll say to the dad, how are you feeling about this? And they're almost like shocked, because it's it's all about baby, and then it's about mum too, especially if they either have been unwell or they're kind of zoomed in. And I always try and make sure in the time that is booked that I put some time to talk about how they feel about it, because it just is so important.
But mum's the priority, and baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, and mums and their goals, definitely. So that's a little bit of a summary, really, about why I got into it. And
so, how do your one-to-one sessions work? How do they? And how do people get referred to you? Or do they find you through social media?
Yeah, so a lot of it actually, most of it is word of mouth.
Really?
Which is very, very powerful. And I think mothers being together and telling each other about their experiences is so important and so valuable. Yeah. And then one of them will say, "Oh, Sarah came to visit me," and then I get a message saying, "Oh, you visited my friend last week. Could I please fit?" Or go, "Oh, I had an appointment at Old Curiosity, and I've told my friend about it, and they want to be like that kind of thing." Wow. So that's really how.
So that's really good, isn't it? Yeah, word of mouth is very powerful.
It is. It is.
Powerful. So if somebody comes along to you, new mum, having problems, how does it work within your sessions? Because I don't know anything about this.
No, that's fine.
So
if we were talking about the one-to-ones at the Old Curiosity, for example, so I offer them at the moment at a reduced price. I'd love to get some funding to offer them for free. That's my goal. So they're slightly shorter. So some things have to be sped up a little bit, but that's fine. But first of all, I say, okay, so just tell me from the beginning, tell me what's going on. I listen to the whole thing, and then I will, as I'm listening, I will not talk over the mum, and reflect back what she's saying, and reflect their feelings about it. Once I've heard the whole thing, the full history, then I'd ask them what their goals are. Just see how I can support them to achieve that, and take a history. What's been going on, check if there's any other issues to do with milk supply or with feeding or with baby, with mum, all of that kind of stuff, and then work towards what their goals are, whether that's latching that's painful, or building up a milk supply, trying to drop giving additional milk, and ways to do that, and support them with it going forward.
I was just thinking, just had a question spring to mind. Does this affect younger mums and all the way through to older mums, or is it a specific area of
It's
mums?
An excellent question, and I think lots of mum. I couldn't say there was a particular demographic or age. I think lots of us struggle. Lots and lots of mums struggle.
And is it first time mums, or do you get second time, third time?
You can get second time and third time. I think people, as you go on, you're a little bit more confident, perhaps. Or if you've had a breastfeeding problem before, and you've seen a specialist, you're a bit like, sometimes the mum might be like, I remember what she said to me last time, that kind of thing. But I do see mums second and third time. Different babies, they might have had a different experience. One of them might have been premature, or So yes, but a lot of them are first time.
Because it's a big daunting world, isn't it?
It is, and our breastfeeding rates are not high. So we are not exposed to breastfeeding very much. So if you think about how when you grow up, you kind of copy what is around you. But actually, if you think about how many women, mothers you see breastfeeding, it's not a lot. Whereas in other countries, it's around all the time, and it's much more.
What countries seem to be more prevalent Is there a demographic?
Oh, I don't know. So I feel like I'm doing a disjustice if I didn't give you the proper breastfeeding rates from different countries. England is we're quite low. It's gone up. It's gone up recently, which is great. I think there's been a bit more of a push for it, but we are still relatively low. I was looking at the breastfeeding stats. I think it's by 6 months, I think it's still about 1% that are exclusively breastfed by 6 months, I think, but please don't quote me on that. But it's very, very low there. The initiation rate is higher.
I must admit, when you go into places now and you see a mum breastfeed, nobody bats an eyelid.
It's interesting.
It's really strange, you just sit there and think, oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I would really hope so. And I think also, this is a societal issue because breasts are sexualised and women feel uncomfortable exposing themselves in public. And I think a lot of that is, I wonder if a lot of that is us putting that on ourselves, dealing with societal kind of constructs and expectations that makes it harder for women to want to do it in public, perhaps, partly. But no one batting an eyelid is what we want. That's what we want, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So getting back to so you've got a young mum with new baby, and is it just about teaching them?
Empowering them, and sharing. Empowering them and sharing my knowledge and information for them to make informed choices about their breastfeeding.
Why is it some mums don't breastfeed?
I think that's a whole other podcast. It's a very complicated. There's lots of reasons why women.
I know there'd be medical reasons. There might be emotional reasons.
There might
practical reasons.
Some people don't want to as well, which I completely respect. And there's a lot of formula marketing is very strong. So that's another thing too.
So there's a little bit of social and group pressure, isn't there, from the marketing side of use the powders, use this, use that.
Possibly, yes, definitely. Sorry, and birth can be very difficult too. That's a whole other thing. So it's very complicated. Definitely a whole.
That's another area to explore at another time.
Definitely.
So you clearly love your job. Clearly, and where do you see what you do going in the way that you encourage mums?
Do you know? What I want, what I so desperately want from my job is that when a mum looks back, like my daughter now is 7, and I look back at my experience with Asha and the breastfeeding counsellor who helped me, I want them to look back and think I did everything I could and I achieved my goals with support if they accessed it. That's what I want. I want them to feel like they had the chance to achieve what they wanted, definitely.
And have you got, obviously I know you can't mention names, have you got clients where they've come back and said, thank you so much because you really got me in the right direction? Yeah, I have. I've got lots of lovely reviews on my Facebook of people mums who I've supported. And it is lovely. It is lovely. It makes it all worth it. It does, and you just think about like the kind of the benefit that the mum gets, whether that's an emotional bonding thing and or the health benefits that you get from breastfeeding and what the baby gets. What a blessing for me to be able to support them with that and optimise that for them. It honestly just feels like, an absolute blessing. No, that's really interesting. You're saying, because babies can't tell us, can they? No, no, they can't. Which is a shame, isn't it? 'Cause it'd be wonderful to know what babies think. Yeah, definitely. We're going to know, are we? There's that kind of reminded me of these quotes. So I just picked up a few quotes from some of the books that I've read. Just some that really stand out to me that I really like. And one of them is there's no such thing as a baby, there's only a baby and someone, which is a quote from Donald Winnicott, which I thought was a lovely concept. This is about two. This is about a dyad between two.
There's the next one that I really like. Perfect is never necessary. Good enough is always good enough. And that's Diane Weisinger, which I think is very, very prevalent for all mums, no matter what their feeding looks like.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding is a conversation between two hearts. Hilary Flower. That's a
quite
really
nice,
lovely
isn't it?
quote,
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
really
It's very
good.
special.
Yeah.
And then
Mum and child become one.
Absolutely. Now there's a word for that. It's Mama Toto, which is Mama Toto, which is like a Swahili word. It's the concept of mum and baby being like an interrelated dyad. Like, yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yes, it's a lovely, if that's what suits the mother, the dynamic, This one as well is really lovely. If they know they're loved, everything will probably come out fine in the end, no matter how much we stumble along the way. That's from a book called The Art of Breastfeeding, which is the Lecture League book, which is fantastic. And the last one is be as gentle with yourself as you are with your baby. That's from The Art of Breastfeeding as well.
Yeah, that's quite a poignant one, isn't it?
And I think
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. Very
and
much.
I think mums are hard on themselves.
I think you're probably right. Yeah. And do you think sometimes mums blame themselves when they don't need to blame themselves?
Oh, absolutely.
There's no reason why they should blame themselves.
Absolutely, I think they do. And I do ever such a lot of like, this isn't your fault. This is, if they're in a situation where breastfeeding hasn't gone the way that they wanted it to, for whatever reason that is, it's the reason why that has happened is very complicated, and it isn't the mum's fault.
And is it when you get very, very young mums, you know, because you get a lot of young teenage girls who, you know, have children, you know, and I'm talking like the lower range of the teens, it must be, because they're growing up, they've got everything going on, and then there's a baby. And
it must be so hard.
It must be so difficult. And, you know, as well as having all of that, you've got a baby now that you have to care for. And, you know, your parents may be saying, well, you should breastfeed your baby. You know, mum saying, that was what I did to you, and that's the best thing. And they may need that guidance that you can give to help. To
help them make it, help it, to support them.
It is a personal choice, though, isn't it?
It is a personal choice, and that's the thing that's the key fundamental is about support to make an informed choice.
Yes.
And if you want to do it, then I will support you until the cows come home. And if you don't want to do it, then I will absolutely respect that too. But yes, I think what you're saying is that's really hard. I think that is a really difficult situation. Where you've got someone telling you should do this or you shouldn't do that, or and it goes back to how this podcast opened about listening.
Yes.
Listening to the person in the centre of this, which is...
and understanding their needs.
Yeah.
Which is important, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Absolutely. And asking, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve?
So you volunteer.
Yes.
And you're now branching out.
Into some private
sort of area.
Yeah.
And so if people are interested and sort of think, oh, you know, I'm down in Broadstairs, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way of getting in touch?
They can get in touch through my Instagram. My Instagram is Sarah BF Support, like breastfeeding support. That would be the best way. And on there, I've got a little link, and you can book like a free 15-minute phone call, just so that they can see. If
you say you've got a Facebook page as well?
Yes, which is Sarah Turner Breastfeeding Support.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the best way to get in touch, and then from there, the ball starts rolling.
Yeah, and we have a little conversation about if it's right, and if it's not the right thing as well, then I would signpost on to other places that...
And you've actually got a venue in Broadstairs now.
Yes.
Which you can use.
Yes, so absolutely fantastic, amazing Tilly from the Old Curiosity Shop has very generously invited me into the cafe. So I run some discounted specialist appointments there. I wanted to offer them because I wanted it to be able to be accessible to people who might not be able to afford private, more specialist support for someone to come to their home. Yeah. So,
Oh, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who's just had their little baby and they're having some issues? How would you encourage them to come and see you, what would you say to them?
Well, I'd encourage them to seek out some support. Whether that is, depends if you need, what type of support you need.
Yeah.
You might need to be even more qualified than I am, or it might just be that they need to go to a local, not just, I feel like I'm dismissing it slightly, but they might need to go to a local breastfeeding group and talk to other mums and be around other ones. But definitely encourage reaching out to somebody, ask for support. Yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Well, listen, thank you very much for sharing your story.
That's okay.
That was a nice thing to do. And just thank you for your enthusiasm and the fact that you just want to help others, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I close on these facts?
You can close.
Is that all right?
You can.
So this is this is in a book written by Dr. Jennifer Thomas. In a new mum, 23% of her blood goes to her chest, this is when her baby's first born. 23% of her blood goes to her chest, which is even more than goes to her brain. So when your baby is first born, your body is like anticipating your baby to be on you. So that's like just after birth. Okay, so in the latest government statistics of breastfeeding at 6 to 8 weeks, at the moment we're at 55.6%, which is the highest we've been since 2015, but it drops as time goes on after that, at 6 to 8 weeks. 1 teaspoon of breast milk contains 3 million germ-killing cells, so it is amazing.
Wow.
Breast milk is a living tissue, so it's just like blood. It changes throughout feeds and from feed to match what your baby needs. So it can't be replicated because it's changing.
So it changes all the time.
Yeah, to what the baby needs. So if the baby was unwell, then the breast milk would change, or if mum is exposed to some germs and things. Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. Over 400 proteins have been identified in breast milk, but we're still discovering a lot about it. So, And also it changes for the gender of the baby. Males need a higher antioxidant capacity than females. So our bodies are amazing.
They are. They're incredible, aren't they? They're incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's great. And like I say, if people want to get in touch, you've told them how to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Broadstairs Life today. You can follow us on various social media platforms and also podcast platforms. Thank you again.